Hello and welcome to the last lecture of section 1, AWS Documentation Overview. With 90 plus services and hundreds of features, AWS Documentation is an ocean. It's practically impossible for anyone to know and understand every specific details of every service in AWS. And documentation as well as services and features, they keep updating and changing. They are highly dynamic in nature. So here comes AWS documentation for your rescue. You can always fall back and consult this documentation for any specific or generic detail. And from my personal experience, as well as whatever we hear from industry experts, AWS documentation is awesome and it's quite updated. And you won't find duplicates over here. That is, I have never come across any outdated or duplicate or conflicting documentation on AWS. Looks like they have a well-defined process and they are updating the existing info, as well as maybe they are retiring the old info as well. And the most beautiful part is it's publicly accessible over here at https://aws.amazon.com/documentation. So let us see it. So here's that URL, https aws.amazon.com documentation, and you can see this. It's I need to scroll it a lot to show you everything. So it's quite big and it has been divided into guides and API references, and here you have they have categorized this documentation into databases, migration, storage, etc. There are many categories, more than a dozen. Then we have tutorials and projects. So here you can find about websites and web apps, DevOps, storage, databases, launching Windows virtual machine, launching virtual machine in Linux, build serverless applications. So you will find almost everything, whatever you expected from AWS. SDKs, so all of your favorite SDKs like Python, PHP, .NET, Ruby, Java, Go, Node.js. So even the modern languages like Go, I think you must be knowing it's a language developed by Google. It is well supported by AWS, and the documentation and SDKs are already there. Then you have general resources where you have FAQs, getting started, white papers, quick starts, it's case studies from different clients are there. AWS training and certification is also there. You must be knowing that there are many certifications related to architects or developers or DevOps which are there in AWS, and you can go ahead as an advanced course after completing this course. So this was about documentation, and let us go back to our slide. So here I have summarized that documentation in a single screen and a single slide. So guides and API references, tutorials and projects, SDKs and toolkits, and general resources. To show you how they look like, I will just click the screenshot that I have taken. So for example, guides and references has compute. There you can find about Amazon EC2, storage has Amazon S3. These are the two basic things which you will always require. And then we have it's the same screen after scrolling down. So you can see mobile services, desktop and app streaming, machine learning, which is getting quite popular these days. Okay, and in tutorials and projects we have documentation about launching a Linux virtual machine, launching a WordPress website, serverless hello world. So whatever is there, you can just click and go inside and learn about it. SDKs and toolkits, we have just seen this. So whatever is your favorite language, you go ahead and explore it. General resources, these are quite important in terms of your certification as well as practical knowledge. FAQs, white papers, there are many architecture related white papers as well, and best practices white papers, security white papers, which you should always go and read. So finally, it doesn't matter if you are an AWS beginner or an expert. Use AWS documentation and make it a habit. So there's a wealth of information. The more you explore, the more you learn. So this was the last lecture of section 1. See you in the next section. Thank you.